If you run a service business, you've probably run into this. You need a pitch deck for a sales meeting, or a landing page for a new offer, or a one pager which you can send to your prospects. You're not a designer, so you have three options. You spend 3 hours wrestling with Canva templates that don't quite fit your brand. You pay a designer hundreds of pounds and wait 2 weeks for the first draft, or you try to put something together in PowerPoint. Anthropic just released a tool that fixes all that, and it's called Claude Design. It was launched, I think, about 10 days ago. And what happens is that you design what you need in plain English, and Claude builds it for you. You get to refine whatever it builds through conversations. And when it's ready, you can export to your PDF, PowerPoint, Canva, or HTML. That's how good it is. I'm going to be building two things today: a pitch deck and a branded lead magnet. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use it for your own business. One quick note before we start: so is a separate product from Claude Chat, Claude Co, or Claude Co. It's included in your Pro plan, so you don't need to pay any extra subscription. So if you're already paying for Claude Pro, you have it. You just have to know where to look. Let's build. Hi, I'm Abby. I'm your AI automation specialist that helps your business generate more revenue while improving efficiency. What is Claude Design? Here is the interface, and you have all these options and examples here. In this case, you would see some examples and some prompts provided, which you can tweak to suit your own purpose. But when you use these prompts, these are the results you would get. And then you also have design systems here in case you want to teach Claude your brand and product. I mentioned that you can include your brand kit so that it can design according to your brand. So you can have all that here. In this case, we're going to go to the slide deck. So let me name the slide deck something. So because it's a slide deck, we have the option of creating speaker notes also. But in this case, I'm not going to enable that. I'm just going to click on create. So here is the interface. It looks simple. We have the chat panel here, and then the canvas. The canvas is where Claude builds your designs in real time. You describe what you want. Claude then builds the first version, and then you iterate by chatting. So you keep telling it, okay, make the headings bigger, use my brand colors, swap section 2 for testimonials, whatever it is you need. The changes happen live in here. Now, there are three things that makes this different from Canva, Lovable, or hiring a designer. One, it understands your brief in conversations. You describe what you need and then it creates it. Number two, it learns your brand. I was showing you where you can actually upload your brand kit, your colors, your logo, and your fonts. And every design it creates uses them automatically. So no more fixing colors on every template. Number three, you can export it to real working files. As you can see, you can export to PDF, PPT, Canva, or you can export as a standalone HTML if you want it on the web. You can also decide to hand it off to Claude Code if you want a designer to build it for real. But for most of you watching, I would expect that the export to PDF or Canva is what you would actually use. So now, let's start with the pitch deck. Most business owners need a pitch deck at least once a year, maybe to pitch a partnership, maybe to apply for a grant, or maybe to also land a big client. So I'm going to be building a slide deck here, and here is the prompt I'm going to be using. Build me a 10-slide pitch deck for a business coaching offer aimed at female founders running 50K to 200K businesses. Include title slide, the problem they're facing, the cost of not solving them, my solution and methodology, who it's for, what's included, 3 case studies, pricing, FAQ, and a clear booking CTA: modern, professional, and clean. Now, if I wanted to just attach the details, maybe like my slide notes here, I can actually do that here. And once I do that, it will open up my file here. I can also do an import. So these are the different options that you can use to actually bring in your instruction into this interface. Now, once I do this, I click on send and then we watch it start to do the build. Watch the interface. We can see that Claude is not just building straight up like that. It is telling us what it's going to do step by step. It maps out the whole structure and then builds each slide. And that's what we can see here, all the different details of everything it's going to do. And another thing is that while it's doing that design, you would see that it will be giving you tips on what to do next time. So it's already writing the slides. So we should see it in a few minutes. So Claude has finished building our slide deck, and it took us, let's say, about 3 to 4 minutes, 10 slides with real content. So if I were satisfied with this, I'll just do a share and then export it to wherever it is I want to export it to. But in this case, I wanted to change the brand color. So I'm going to be telling it to use this brand colors: emerald green, dark navy, and warm white. So I'm just going to tell it to do all that. And I am going to upload my logo. So now I'm going to submit this and let's see what it brings up. So we can see that it's already changing the colors to what we requested for. And when it finishes building, it verifies that everything it does is really according to your instructions. So that's a verifier agent, and it has confirmed that and everything is done. Now if I just wanted to keep editing in PPT, which I don't want to, I can just click on the share button and export. And this is something that would normally cost you $300 to $500 with a designer, or it will cost you maybe like 3 hours wrestling with Canva. And it took us how many minutes? Maybe like 5 to 7 minutes. And it actually looks like something a designer would do for you. So that's the first one. Now let's go to the second one. This is the build I want you to pay attention to. Lead magnets are the highest leverage thing a service business can have. You know, those free guides, the checklists, a swipe file, those things that are genuinely useful that people would exchange their emails for. The reason why most business owners don't have one isn't because they don't have ideas, but it's because designing a proper PDF is a job. So the idea lives in a Google Doc somewhere forever and never goes live. Now I'm going to build a fully designed lead magnet in 5 minutes here, and I already have the prompt for it. So now I'm just going to create a new project. I'm going to name it LMD. Don't ask me for what that means. And then here I'm going to place this prompt that is just telling Claude to build a 6-page lead magnet with all these details. Once we do that, I click on send like we did the other time, and then we'll see Claude giving us a step-by-step process of how it intends to carry out our instruction. These tips are actually very useful. But the verifier agent is doing its job of checking everything. But you can see what it came up with already. This in itself is beautiful. However, if we want to make it our own, we can upload our brand kit and then it will follow the colors, the logo, and every other thing there. So it's done. So the verifier agent is done. I'm just going to send this across so that it can update it. It has listed out the instructions again like it did before. So as I mentioned before, so it will tell you to reload if you want to see the new version. That's the new version after it has updated the details. So if I click on this, we'll see some of the changes it has made. It has changed the brand colors to the colors I specified. So we can see it has changed the URL to the URL I specified. It has followed the updated instruction, and now the verifier agent is doing it. So imagine if I wanted to just share this. All I need to do is to click here and export straight to PDF, all done according to our specification. Now imagine what you can do with this. A free guide for every problem your audience has, a monthly newsletter, branded case studies, course outlines, different things. All of this with one tool you already pay for. Now we've seen the different use cases we can use Claude Design for. But here is the bit that no one talks about. Claude Design is powerful, but if you give it a vague prompt and accept the first output, you're going to be getting something that looks like every other AI generated design. And that's something you don't want. Some of the rules I follow would be first, to be specific about the industry, the audience, the mood, all those different things. What kind of colors? Give it inspiration so that it will do the work you want it to do very well. The more specific your brief is, the further away from generic the output will be. The second would be for you to specify colors and fonts by name. Mention theirs. Don't give it modern colors. It doesn't mean anything. Let it know the name of the palette. Let it understand the type of font you want it to use. If it is inter, all those different fonts, just tell it that this is what you, and then you're able to get the exact results you want to get. The last bit is that you should never accept the first draft. The first draft is your starting point. It's not your destination. So push, rewrite this, change this. So aggressive iteration will help you separate yourself from someone who just pastes AI out. The difference between AI and AI excellence is the brief that you give Claude and then the iteration you do after it gives you the first result. So that's Claude Design. Two things we built today, plus the framework that keeps your output sharp. We created a pitch deck for the next time you need to pitch something serious. And then we also designed a lead magnet to help you start collecting emails properly. All this from just one tool. None of this required a designer. The reason why I keep coming back to this point, it is not about replacing designers entirely. If you have a £50,000 brand identity project, hire a designer. But if you have a £400 sales sheet job, use Claude Design. The line is much higher up than most people realize, but only if you brief it properly. If you want to go deeper on this, feel free to reach out to me in the link in the description, and we can actually arrange a proper session for you on this. Also, I'm running a live Claude co-work masterclass on the 7th of May. 90 minutes, you'll be building 3 working systems on your own laptop, which you can start using immediately. The link is also in the description below. Subscribe if you found this useful. I release new videos every week. See you in the next one. Bye for now.